Hello students, today we will try to understand the various dimensions and a very interesting and curious thing about the pleasure of precedent, right? This is also called pleasure doctrine, and this is basically a method of removal for certain posts in the Constitution of India. We know that the president's removal method is called impeachment. Vice president is the removal motion, judges are removal motion, and they have various grounds mentioned in the Constitution. The president can be removed on the grounds of violation of Constitution, right? Judges can be removed from their post on the proved misbehavior and incapacity, vice president has no grounds mentioned in the Constitution. Similarly, the method of removal for certain posts are the doctrine of pleasure or pleasure of the president, which virtually means that for any post or the person, when doctrine of pleasure is applicable as mentioned in the Constitution of India, then that person can be removed by the president anytime. So if the president withdraws the pleasure, then that person stand removes. Stands removed. So if the pleasure of the president on which you are working or holding your post is withdrawn, then you are no more holding the post. You can say that since the president always works on advice of PM, basically Council of Ministers, but practically PM, then you can say that pleasure of president doctrine is the indirect freedom in the hands of Prime Minister to change the person holding the particular posts in the particular sense. And this is why the doctrine of pleasure is not exactly the president using this doctrine as his personal discretion, but it has to be used in the constitutional manner, and that means that on the advice of the Prime Minister, who is the head of Council of Ministers. So the next thing is that it makes the whole thing more controlled by the central executive, because we know the president is the nominal executive and the Prime Minister is the real executive. It is the ceremonial head, he is the real and actual head. So doctrine of pleasure is used actually by the Prime Minister, which gives them the more power actually to remove the person holding certain posts in India. Now, we have those posts which are available with doctrine of pleasure. कितनी पोस्टें हैं with doctrine of pleasure? Of course, you know, the first are the ministers, except Prime Minister, right? Second is Attorney General. (76) Third is the governor. right? 155, 156, and fourth is that civil servants, specifically under the control of central government, we are talking here about. So what happens here? These people work on pleasure of president, and hence theoretically they can be removed by the president anytime without assigning any reason. But why this topic I have taken today? For you to understand that though the doctrine of pleasure is is applicable to all of them, but this doctrine has different interpretation for both of them. For example, the importance of the post of governor is different from the importance of the post of attorney general, and the different from the post of the ministers, and so is the civil servant. So the purpose for which these posts have been created is directly proportional to the interpretation of the doctrine of pleasure that will be used for removal of these people holding their posts. For example, if we talk of the ministers, then the doctrine of pleasure is also known as doctrine of individual responsibility. It is different from the collective responsibility, not opposite, but different. And it means that the Prime Minister, through President, Prime Minister through President can get rid of non-performing ministers. So what happens here? He can get rid of non-performing ministers. So it makes the Prime Minister more in control with his Council of Ministers through the doctrine of pleasure. And therefore, no higher standards or strict parameters can be applied when the President wants to utilize the pleasure doctrine against the ministers as requested by the Prime Minister of India. But this is not the same case when it comes to the post of governor. Why? Because governor is head of state executive. Governor has special responsibilities and powers. So governor is constitutionally more crucial post. Hence, it is not possible actually to use the doctrine of pleasure of president with the same easy standards and parameter which was available with the ministers and attorneys general. And this is what exactly the Supreme Court decided in BP Singhal case 2010. BP Singhal case 2010. The case was pertaining to the removal of the governor. Can the president remove the governor as and when they wish? Because this has been history in India. When Janata Party government came to power, then they removed all the governors appointed by the previous Congress government. This became a trend then. When Indira Gandhi came to power again in 1980, she removed all the governors who were appointed by the Janata Party government. So now the question is that if the central government changes from one party to the another after election, does it mean that the governor should also resign because the new government must represent new will of the people? This is what happens with Attorney General. Entire entire council of minister is new, but can we say that the same principle will apply to the governor as well? This question was decided in the BP Singhal case. Now here Supreme Court very logically said that governor is not the same as the Attorney General or the ministers. It is a constitutionally very important post. Head of the state executive, so very important federal link, federal feature, has very special responsibilities under Article 356, 5th schedule and 6th schedule, special powers such as discretionary powers, and very critical for national unity and integrity, as well as the center's hand and eyes on the state's performance. So in BP Singhal case, the Supreme Court said very simply that standard used in doctrine of pleasure for removal of governor should be reasonable and constitutionally valid. Constitutionally valid. What does it mean? That though you don't have to tell the governor why he is being removed, but at the same time, there has to be a very genuine, reasonable ground to believe that the governor cannot continue in his post with the current government, central government in the power. And it cannot be, Supreme Court put certain restrictions on it, that the governor cannot be removed just because central government changed, or for any political differences or difference of opinion between the governor and the president, means the central government. And since you have seen very clearly that after BP Singhal case, no governor has been removed prematurely by the central government. So what has happened? See the significance of this judgment. The significance of this judgment is that the tenure of the governor has become 5 years for sure, because doctrine of pleasure cannot be used whimsically, without any reason, without application of mind, or for the reason of political differences between the governor and the central government. So the constitutional protection has been given to governor, and this is what the beauty is. If we go back to our earlier slide, then we know that civil servants have been given constitutional protection under Article 311 of the Constitution, which says that the civil servants work upon the pleasure of the president, but if there is any case for which the major punishment like dismissal, termination, reduction in rank, reduction in salary, pension is given to the civil servants as the punishment, then there has to be a proper ground reasonable inquiry, principles of natural justice must be followed, and all channels of appeal by the aggrieved civil servant must be exhausted. Though the President of India has been given the exceptions to note in the writing why inquiry should not take place, and they can remove that person immediately. Like recently, Governor of Jammu and Kashmir terminated services of 4 state government employees without any further inquiry because of the clear evidence of them to be involved in the cases of terrorism and supporting the terrorist modules. So the pleasure doctrine is definitely not equally applied for all these posts in Indian Constitution.